Imagine what used to be a very prestigious news outlet, such as Vice magazines, going after VTubers for some well, and particularly a VTuber named Kirche. I mean, I watch some of her videos. I mean, they're just sort of milk toast, boring right wing VTube stuff, but it's fascinating, right? Because well, she really just has the opinion that any old milk toast right winger has. But we live in people living in 2025 think we're living in 2016 where basic bitch right wing views on the internet is viewed as heresy, is shot down like it's satanic, like how the Christians will treat anything as satanic. You have this new ideology treating basic bitch shit and edgy shit like it's bad. And it's like, so why is Vice? Well, what surprised me the most is the fact that Vice still exists. Like, that alone had me straight flabbergasted and surprised. This fucking ad right here is pissing me off because it keeps flashing, right? But anyway, so it also boggles my mind that they're now going after people that are obviously bigger than them. Like, I think Kirche in particular is like 56,000 followers on Twitter, at least 44,000 on Twitch. I think she's a hell of a lot bigger than Vice. Like, if there are comments here, and we'll see, this probably what going to be. Not if there are any. If you're even allowed to comment, there'll be like 10 people. Like, imagine all the viewers and the people commenting on her stream versus all the people that will be on this site. And the fact that now apparently they're going after Gamer Subs, which is, Gamer Subs does, flavored drinks and shit, and they partner with a lot of content creators to sell it, which is a smart idea. But now I feel like, the type of Karenistic Twitter individuals are now going after her and her partnership with Gamer Subs because of just milk toast right wing views. Like here, Kirche is relatively popular on blah 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 blah. She originally announced her partnership with Gamer Subs September 2023, followed by a merchandise reveal this past March. For shirts to cups, Kirche fans will soon be able to flag their love for the right wing Fox Girl IRL. All thanks to Gamer Subs. While some VTubers may wink or nod to conservative beliefs, Kirche has never hidden her political leaning. In fact, she gained a reputation for speaking out on behalf of the right-wing side of the VTubing fanbase, for which there is a growing many, right? Like, we're talking, I believe this new generation is going to be right-wing because we lived through the past 4 years where, you're forced indoors, you weren't supposed to go out, you weren't supposed to work, right? But, the politicians, they can go wherever the fuck they want and hang out wherever the hell they want, while everyone else had to be forced indoors, right? And then there's all the things with U.S. aid and all that, and all the corruption happening. Like, and like, they weaseled their way in off just basic empathy, but then there's this level of suicidal empathy where, again, you have situations in like sanctuary cities where career criminals are set free. Like, we're not even talking someone that just committed a crime. Like, people whose entire career is crime, is the financial incentive to do crime in these cities are just let free. And if just a couple of these situations happen, it's clearly a failure of the system, right? And it's easy to look at numbers when you're on the outside and be like, oh, well, it's just this many. But if you're in the community, and you're not being told this because it's all kept under wraps, it does affect you. So yeah, things like that. I think that like this side of the internet is growing. And I'm not. It's not that it's not big. It's that all the people that held these beliefs, right, were just banned or they were, blocked and just pushed to the fringes, attacked by raving hate mobs of people. And now they're growing back. In February, she said trans women advocating for trans rights are autogynephiliac sick males with graphic murder fantasies. She praised Mythic Talent co-owner Asmongold for arguing every trans kid is actually a victim of a parent with a mental illness. Oh yeah, I've seen him talk about this. And it's odd because if you chill out on like 4chan and all that, and you just watch like just any random trans Twitterite says, it's always, oh, man child in mom's basement talking about this. Oh, smelly man child in basement saying some transphobic shit, piece of shit. Oh, man child. It's like, Asmongold's rich. Like, I don't understand why he can't hire a fucking maid. But he's actually doing a little better for himself ever since his 2-week ban. And yeah, I don't understand what. And they're writing this like they're journalists. It's like, no, he's just some idiot. Like, what is this? Gamergate subreddit Kotakuian Action. I share Kirche's works to acclaim calling her base Fox and other posts. YouTube drama declares Kirche the main culprit for alt-right pandering and VTubing. I mean, and again, you have certain audience, like certain creators that try to cultivate a certain type of audience. Like you have Hassan doing that, H3H3 doing that, and now Kirche's doing this. The thing is, Hassan's audience, like, he's on a platform that clearly has a political bias, right? And you have the things he said, only giving him a couple-day ban, but Asmongold being even slightly critical of a completely different culture, right? Getting a two-week ban. Like, there's clearly a bias, and that culture was Islamic culture, getting a 2-week ban. Like, you may agree with the bias, and therefore you're supposed to act like nothing's happening, but come on, we know something's happening. I know something's happening. Why are we acting like there's not? But yeah, it's odd that The Vice, which is one of many dying news outlets, now just scratching at like trying to claw at the wall and be like, hey, we're relevant, right? Well, let's look at, like, are there any comments? What the fuck is this? Huge. Any comments? Okay, Kirche not supposed to stay belief on a white supremacist. Great replacement theory. Are we gonna watch this? Here she openly states her belief on politicians in the U.S. and UK are assisting in a hostile demographic takeover while ranting about the construction of mosques in England. I wasn't expecting a theological debate, but fuck it.
They're building like a 2.5 million pound mosque somewhere in like northern England that doesn't even have like a large Muslim population. And I was like, of course they are. Yeah, of course they are. I get
it's money laundering, right? Like, this is how you do corruption for like, that's legal, right? Well, one, America, we made corruption legal. We called it lobbying, but in countries like like the UK, it's like you can't just straight give politicians money, but you be like, oh well, we're gonna build this building, and it's gonna cost an exorbitant amount of money, and it's just this tiny fucking shack. It's like, where'd the rest of the money go? Well, towards the project, quote unquote. Or it's like, you want to invest into a certain person, like in a political person, so you have them write just any old type of stupid book, and you buy like 60,000 copies of it. The book probably cost like, I don't know, assuming $10. That's like $600,000 before tax. I mean, there's so many ways to do corruption and lobbying. That's just outside, there's also things outside of just straight monetary value, like benefits. You know, I mean, yeah, you have a seat of power in this very small place with very small Muslim community, and you can convert people.
Get increasingly angry when I see people who are just like, well, they're not doing anything illegal, so like you can't really be mad at them. It's like this is very clearly a hostile takeover. Like, we're experiencing it in the US via illegal immigration. They're experiencing it in the UK via like the migrant crisis nonsense and refugees, which
And it sounds ridiculous if you think about it, right? If you just hear it and your worldview is, nah, that's bullshit. But then you look at like the situations that happened in the past 4 years. One in the UK, two even here in America, that just weren't talked about, unless by just some YouTubers talking about it, right? Like, you just have just floods of immigrants just being poured into this, like a city of 30,000 people getting shoved in 60,000 immigrants. Like, that will adversely change the demographic. And they were just sweepingly all given, asylum status, even though they're not really, like, what war is happening in, say, South America or Mexico. I mean, I don't know, you don't know, but your ideology demands you defend this, right? Because it's from people who just hate their country, hate the people in it, hate the culture, and will err on the side of anything that's against it. And it's also the fact that you will just have a demographic of people who only have a high school diploma, or only, like, they don't go to college, they don't have a degree, but they're willing to work jobs that need to be worked, like sewer cleaners, construction workers. And these are people within the very communities. But imagine you just shove just a bunch of illegal immigrants. You can pay them less, right? Which is what happens with Walmart, which is why they're all for illegal immigration, right? And apparently they can vote now because they're just given cards, given visas, given IDs, given driver's license, just given money, like 500 grand a month. Someone told me, not 500 grand, like $500 a month. Like, that's quite a bit of money. Like, I remember when I was, I guess, technically laid off, like, I was given, like, what, 250, but granted, I wasn't in a bad position, but I was laid off from a job over COVID. But then you have, like, immigrants in the tens of thousands just given free. Like, do you not think the individuals in this community will see an unfair system and point it the fuck out? Like, do you not think that will happen? right? And it's like, you know what's going to happen, which is why a lot of people just have this knee-jerk reaction when they hear this. Like, either you have an ideology where you have to defend this, right, or you built your entire ideology around this facsimile of the type of people you think they are in their head, when really, like, these end up like the people who born in America that just don't have a college degree are willing to work these jobs themselves. It's noble work. Like, you're not going to do that, but someone has to. But apparently, you'll want an illegal immigrant to do it and replace the demographic of people that are willing to do it.
Potato, potato, basically the same fucking thing. And it's like, our politicians are assisting these people with both demographic replacement as well as just making citizens' lives worse in general.
Yeah, and again, this is pressure, right? Every time you do, inflation, every time you lock people in their like middle class Americans in their in their houses because they can't work because they gotta save grandma. Every time you just shove people as if it's just a place with economic transactions and not communities of people that are integrated in that community, want the best for the community. Every time that happens, it puts pressure on the middle class. And this is pressure nobody wants to talk about because, again, you have an ideology which is entirely based on the people you're against, not what you stand for. And you just do this knee-jerk reaction. Oh, it's not happening. Oh, conspiracy theory, right? But and again, you see this shit happening with your own eyes, and you're not allowed to talk about it. Like, if that's how you're going to treat people, like, they're going to vote against you. Like, they will vote for someone worse just to piss you off because you're not working in their court. You're not working on their team. You think they're racist just for pointing out what is clearly happening.
They're changing the entire culture of these countries. It might not be a hostile takeover like you see in war. There's no guns and battleships and bombs, but it is still a hostile takeover. It is still going to change these countries irreparably in the future.
Yeah, and again, if you just look at it like a fucking American, right? Because I see, like, us Americans, we have this very one-sided view of looking at things. Like, we don't look at ethnicity, we don't look at like religion or religious strife, ideological strife. We only look through the lens of race because that's the tool being used. But if you have people from Islamic countries with Islamic ideas and Islamic principles and Islamic values, the point is to turn the nation Muslim. That's the point. Like that's what you're supposed to do. Right? And if you don't think this way, even if you're a Sikh, the Sikh are probably the chillest of the Muslim sects. Even if you don't think, you can't do anything about other Muslim brothers like that believe in Islamic Wahhabism, which is just the letter of the Quran, word for word. We will do this, disregarding the times the Quran was made. Like, it is the point.
UK, it's almost all of Europe. Well, I'm specifically speaking of the UK because of the mosque thing. We're noticing. And it's like, I made a tweet. I made a tweet talking about...
Yeah, and again, like, the UK had Brexit, and they're still having problems like this. Why is that? Could it be they're operating off an old, archaic system that only works assuming the politicians are on your court, like, in your interest, not in their own interest of maintaining power at all costs? Even if they know they're fucking up, it's like, it's not okay. What do we do to fix this? It's what do I do to maintain power? Like, if you think of it this way, right, that way, like, it makes sense. This was not a one-off comment in April to the White House ICE tip line to aid the deportation of undocumented Americans in February 25. She said she's happy with mass deportation of the truck, but warned the federal government was offering undocumented Americans massive amounts of free shit given on taxpayer dime. She even called Lawrence, Massachusetts, a no-go zone full of illegal activity and implied the city could only be recovered if all of its undocumented citizens were removed. Again, you're not saying any of this is wrong, right? And she's American. Like, she probably knows people in these, like, she's a big American Vtuber. She probably knows people in these communities, but the people in these communities aren't supposed to point it out, because if they do, they'll be shut down, slandered by, like, Vice for pointing out things that are clearly happening. If ICE sweeps here, it'll become a ghost town and maybe can be rebuilt, she tweets. Yeah, you see this happening in New York, where they're sweeping in and you have entire blocks of the city just uninhabited, businesses going under, because these very businesses were using these people effectively, some as workers, paying them less, right? And I to be fair, I don't even blame the illegal immigrants. If I was in their position, I'd do the same fucking thing, right? If I'm from a country that's ravaged by war, or even if it's not, if I'm from hell, if I'm from prison, like, I'd do the same fucking thing. But I'm against the system that allows these things to happen, and not allow people to point out what the fuck's happening. But anyway, I mean, they just go on and on and on. And just, I swear this is made by ChatGPT. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, are there any comments? No. No comments whatsoever. I wonder why. While Kirche is a political VTuber, it remains unclear if the content creator was aware of the Nazi imagery seen on the bookshelf. I don't think she cares. But various fascist books on the display. In fact, several VTubers jumped into a lively Twitter debate about whether Kirche had the knowledge of the recognized fascist imagery. One VTuber claimed she didn't even know that the Iron Cross was a popular Nazi symbol. I mean, it's also a symbol in other, religions, but whatever. Regardless, it's likely Kirche is now aware of the imagery and meaning of the book shared by the retweeted user after a day's worth of discourse on Twitter. Yet since used post remains shared on her Twitter page. I mean, this doesn't. Wait, hold on, shut the fuck up. That's the wrong cross. Like, this was the symbol in, like, World War One Germany. Unless maybe they're talking about this. This is just a Christian imagery. Wait, which cross are we talking about? This or this? This or this? Or this? Or this? And okay, maybe this particular individual just reads philosophy. Like, they have fucking Yu-Gi-Oh books. Or is that, like, movies? In anime? Like, this is the most philosophical shit. Like, maybe that's just the thing there is. Like, if you want to hate on an ideology, obviously you're going to read the book so you can hate on them more clearly. Like, I'm reading books on, like, Taoism and like, Chinese philosophy, because it was a philosophy that existed for thousands of years, made a stable Empire before even the Roman Empire. So it's like, well, how the fuck did it work? Well, let's figure it the fuck out. Like, I don't understand, oh, they have a book, therefore they're bad. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. What are we, 5? But anyway, again, no comments. You can't comment on this. It's just Vice Media saying shit and, yeah, not letting anyone discuss it. It's almost like they know they'll get pushed back. Again, like, the Iron Cross isn't really, like, do Nazis use it? Sure. I mean, you're not supposed to use the Happy Wheel, otherwise you get banned, just for the image of the true Nazi symbol. But that was made, that was a symbol in World War I Germany. Like, this is just whatever. This is all I gotta say. Peace.